everybody, and welcome to The Power Is Now. My name is Eric Frazier. It's a beautiful day in Southern California, a great day to talk about real estate. The Power Is Now is a media company focused on housing and homeownership and building wealth through real estate. And folks, we're doing it all across the country. We have experts, real estate seasoned experts who really know what's going on in their markets across the country, creating content like about what you're going to hear today, about markets, about financing, about the economic environment that is occurring across the country. Right now, anyone that is thinking about buying a home, they may be thinking about relocating. If you live in expensive California, you may be looking at going to the Midwest or to the South. If you are in the Midwest or South, you may be thinking about coming to California because all roads lead to California. Now, I know that some may argue with that, but that's at least my opinion. So welcome to the show today. Today we have a special guest. His name is Heith Mohler. He's the broker and owner of property marketers in Florida, Ohio, Alabama, and coming soon, Georgia. He's the VIP agent on The Power Is Now. You'll be able to not only watch his own show, the Homebuyer Town Hall, Florida, but you'll also be able to read his articles. He'll be writing articles for a national magazine, talking about the various markets he's in, primarily Florida, and also participating in other shows in which he'll be providing his insight on what's happening in real estate. Heith Mohler, welcome today to the Power Is Now Market Update.
Eric, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be with you again.
The pleasure is all mine, Heith, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule, having multiple offices and doing many things. You are a busy man, but you do take out time to work directly with your customers. I wanted to ask you about that the last time we talked. Do you actually work directly with your clients, or do you have particular agents that handle clients who are working with you specifically?
Eric, great question, and definitely love to continue to, even after all these years, get into the trenches and work with our clients. My role here is more of a solutions provider. So we have a team approach and a consultative approach with our clients. I primarily assist the agents in helping them so that they can problem solve and get to solutions. But I also still work with a select amount of people. At this stage, it's typically clients, investor clients, business building clients that involve real estate and more complex deals. This way, it serves a couple of different purposes. I'm not competing directly with our agents. And then I'm also, we talked a little bit about this off camera, focusing more on the rainmaking and lead generation and systems to make everybody's lives easier, our clients' lives easier, and our agents, so that we can all get to the best outcome that's going to get people moved along in their real estate journey.
Focusing on lead generation and rainmaking must make your agents very happy. In fact, why don't we start there? For those who are just joining us, we're talking to Heith Mohler. This is the Power Is Now Market Update. And Heith, you're going to be talking about Florida today. But before we get into those details, can you provide us some more information for those who are listening or watching for the first time about yourself, your office, where it's located in the multiple locations, and how they can get a hold of you?
Absolutely, Eric. Thanks for asking. So offices that we have located, our main office is located here in the Space Coast in Brevard County, Florida, Titusville, Florida. And you can reach us here, one number for all the different offices, and then we can route you along to wherever you might need to be. The number to reach us, best contact, is going to be area code 321-607-6836. You can use extension 101, and that'll come to me directly. It's kind of like a one point of contact. You could also reach us via our website. Our main website is going to be www.propertymarketers with an S plural, LLC.com. You can put an inquiry in there. And then you could also email me at my email, hmohler, Mohler, at propertymarketersllc.com. In the Alabama area, we have a small office, a satellite office that we have in the Mobile, Alabama area. Again, you can still reach me at those other contact areas that we talked about. And then in Northeast Ohio, we have a small office in the Youngstown area, just south of Cleveland, Ohio, for those of you that are Cleveland fans. And you can, again, just reach me at the numbers that I just gave you. And we'll be happy to help you for all your real estate needs.
Thank you, Heith, for those contact details. Folks, reach out to Heith. He's been in real estate for a long time. How long have you been selling real estate and managing real estate professionals?
It'll actually be going on 24 years here. And once the clock hits 2023, that I've been licensed, and then took that and then was able to parlay that into some of the other things that we are doing in terms of business building and assisting agents. And we've been doing that for a long period of time as well, over 15 years with helping agents, et cetera. So.
Well, congratulations on your tenure in the business, and having been in this business for a while in your particular locations, you have just a broad knowledge of what's happening in multiple locations. But today we're going to focus in on Florida, right, in terms of the market update.
Yep. We're going to talk a little bit about the local Florida area here and some of the benefits of the area. Talk a little bit about affordability. And just kind of what's happening in the market, in general, but, specifically the Space Coast of Florida, where Elon Musk and Cape Canaveral and NASA are over in that area. That's where our main office is. And so we're going to talk about those specifics and why the market is always moving and why you need a seasoned professional to help you with your real estate needs and how that's so important, especially in today's market.
Heith, we're going to take a quick commercial break because you've just laid out what this show is all about. If you're interested in buying or selling in Florida, folks, you want to stay tuned as we get into the details with Heith about Florida. Heith Mohler, broker owner of Property Marketers in Florida. You're listening to The Power Is Now. You're watching The Power Is Now TV. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Want to keep up with the current developments happening in the world of real estate? The Real Estate Roundtable, hosted by Eric L. Frazier, is a show you do not want to miss. The show features a panel of VIP agents who are passionate about helping people. It is what they do best. They discuss today's hot topics, latest market updates and trends. The panel also conducts interviews with prominent figures in the industry. New episode every Friday live on Facebook and replay on the Power Is Now YouTube channel.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, welcome to The Power Is Now TV. Please go to thepowerisnow.com where you can learn more about The Power Is Now. Watch our television shows, listen to podcasts, read the magazines. We have HUD Homes Magazine, national magazines, real estate magazines, and even a television guide to tell you about other shows that are broadcasting on our website and also on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and all smart TVs. With us today is Heith Mohler. He's the broker owner of Property Marketers in Florida and Ohio and Alabama and soon to be in Georgia. And he's here to talk about the Florida market. Again, Heith, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Let's get right to it.
Hey, Eric, it's great to be back with you. And let's talk about the Florida real estate market and especially the livability here, all the different things as far as quality of life. No state tax in Florida as well. So that's kind of cool. And we just have a great quality of life here and different things that you can do. And what I'd like to focus in on today is our area, our main area, which is Brevard County, Florida. And for those of you that aren't familiar, that would be in the east central portion of Florida, just east of Orlando, and right across the river, the Indian River, is the Cape Canaveral area. For those of you that may be rocket fans, that's where the famous NASA is, and SpaceX and rockets. In fact, we just had the Artemis moon launch, unmanned, that went off last night. So pretty cool. So we're going to talk about today the population in our area here in Brevard County, and then locally in the Titusville area. Currently, the population as of the last census date for the county is 586,000 people. You've got a population density per square mile of approximately 577 people. And here's something pretty interesting in kind of showing what's going on here. And again, this is census data. So as of the last census, the population change since the last census data is up over almost 15%. That's pretty big. So you can tell that this is an area that is really inbound, and people are moving here in large quantities. The average median age is 47. Male-female ratio, male 49%, female 47%. All right. And just to give you some perspective, in Florida in general, you've got a population of somewhere over 20 million, and you've got similar ratios that I just went over. Okay. The other thing I kind of want to talk about here a little bit with you is the income per capita. So the income in the county that we're in here is approximately, the median income is $56,775. The unemployment rate here is currently 3.2%, and the unemployment number is approximately 9,000 folks. So you've got low unemployment, and so that's a good thing as well, right? People that want to work definitely can get jobs. And the other thing that is going to be important to most folks is how the market is doing in general. So if we take a look at Brevard County, Florida, which is the county that we're talking about, and specifically home values in the last 12 months, this is pretty amazing, is up almost 26% year over year, with a median list price of $375,000. The list price 12-month change is plus 7%. The median home age is 34 years. The own versus rent, you have 74% own versus 26% rent. And the value of all buildings for which permits were issued, $1.28 billion. Permitting is up 35% for all buildings in the area, and that's a 23% increase in dollar value for all buildings with permits. So I guess the takeaway from here, in my opinion, is going to be that this is a growing area, right? There's value here, and although we are starting to experience a market shift as of late, in general, the market is still very, very good here, Eric.
Heith, great summary of what's happening in Florida. I'm really impressed by the numbers. First, the unemployment numbers, which are fantastic. And this explains why, the Fed is having to do what they're doing, right? I mean, with everybody at work, in fact, more jobs still needed. The economy is still very hot, still, moving forward. And that seems to be the case there in Florida. But the combination of the low unemployment, and the fact that you're building, if I heard you correctly, $1.8 billion in new permits for construction. So that means the state must be, or the city is anticipating more and more people coming there to live and to work.
Absolutely, Eric. And it is a great point because, again, remember, and the thing with data is, the analytics are awesome, but you really have to take those and you can get as granular as you want to. And we love data around here because it tells us a lot. But then there's kind of what I call the Main Street human element of things and how that actually all translates down to, the local level. But again, in Brevard County, the county that we're in here, there were $1.28 billion dollar values of all buildings that permits were issued for. That's only in the county. If you actually look at Florida as a whole, as a state, it's 36.9 billion new permits that were issued. And sometimes agents aren't really familiar with that or have that kind of data. We have all kinds of data reporting that we get, and that helps us make good decisions and good choices, right? It's kind of interesting. We talked a little bit earlier of the type of clients that I work with, and we have a client that specifically asked for me. So when they ask for me, I help them. I don't say no, I say yes. So I was up recently around the Panama City area. And for those of you that aren't familiar, that's going to be around the Bend part of Florida. And that is just due east of Pensacola, Florida, where they have a big Air Force base, et cetera. And more construction is going on there than I've seen literally in my entire life. And just projects that are still going, money that's already been committed. And, you know, that makes a difference, both in our local economy, state economy, and really even in the national economy as well. And as far as inventory goes. So it's a very, very big deal as far as the new construction and the opportunities that they present. And you're right, low unemployment means that, you know, again, there are more jobs that are, you know, folks need people. And if you talk to any business owner, even us here, very hard to find people right now. And so, you know, we're constantly looking for good people as well.
Heith, tell us about any headline news, any big news that's happening there that people may not be aware of in other states or around the world.
Yeah, Eric, great question. A lot of actually big things that are going on here. Development wise, where we are locally in the Titusville, Brevard County area, there's a new development that's going in called Tranquility Shores. That's actually waterfront property, and it has all been cleared already, actually on the river, and then with ocean access. And believe it or not, all of those lots have been sold out, and minimum building restrictions, et cetera, that go along with that. So that's actually great news for the community. Some other things that you may be interested in knowing, there are some national builder projects that are going in. Lennar, Horton, KB Homes, some of those type of communities that are golf course communities that are going in just south of us, where the county seat is in the Vieira area, and also where the if you're into baseball, Washington Nationals used to have their spring training. There's a lot going on, a lot of building happening. The other thing that's happening that's really kind of cool is we are continuing to get high-paying jobs and companies relocating here. Folks like NextGen that have liquid hydrogen that are in the space arena that are going to be moving their headquarters here to Brevard County and Titusville specifically to work with NASA as a subcontractor. You've got SpaceX that's here. You've got a lot of high-end employers in the space and technology areas that are moving into our area with high-paying, good jobs that can also help us support our local economy.
For those of you just joining us, we're talking to Heith Mohler. He's a broker owner of Property Marketers located in Florida. In fact, we're talking about Brevard County today. But he has offices also in Alabama and Ohio and soon to be in Georgia. This has been a great market update, and there's more to come. So stay tuned. You're listening to or watching The Power Is Now. We'll be right back.
The Power Is Now magazines are the leading resource for real estate agents, mortgage bankers, entrepreneurs, and small home ownership businesses, providing leaders with business strategy information, resources, and tools through PIN, Real Estate, Programming Guide magazines. Stay up to the minute with real estate news and information from industry experts. Subscription is free. Sign up today. ThePowerisNow.com. ThePowerisNow.com.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, welcome to the Power is Now Market Update. Folks, you can watch other market updates on our website at thepowerisnow.com. We have agents across the United States, soon to be in all 50 states, providing great intel about real estate and the opportunities to buy or sell. If you're listening to our podcast, please share the podcast. This podcast can be listened to anywhere you listen to podcasts. And of course, if you're watching this on social media, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube and all of the other social media platforms that you may have access to. The Power is Now. With us today is Heith Mohler, and he's doing a fantastic job. I'm learning so much about Florida and Brevard County. There's a lot happening there, and it means opportunity for those of you who may be thinking about buying your first home, or those maybe relocating from high-cost California, the other sunshine state, by the way, to Florida. Then Heith may be the person you should talk to as soon as possible. Heith, again, great job so far. Can you speak to the market opportunities for maybe first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, and retirees?
Yeah, great question, Eric. Let's talk a bit first about the first-time home buyer component and those folks that would be looking. So first of all, let's talk about the folks that we see mostly looking in the first-time home buyer kind of bucket or category. A lot of those folks are millennials. And we had talked about them, remember, for a long, long time. When are they going to buy? When are they going to buy? Well, guess what? They're ready now to buy, even in this current interest rate environment, right? So we want to do some education with them, show them all the great programs that are available for first-time home buyers, because those folks are the future. And we want to let them know there are other options instead of maybe just renting. So for an example, we have properties that are completely rehabbed that are coming onto the market. We're seeing a lot more inventory come onto the market. We're seeing better quality of homes that are coming onto the market. More financeable homes that are coming onto the market, new construction inventory that may not be on MLS, that are potentially off market. And the builders are giving some great discounts on those homes, Eric. And as you know, builders, especially in the current interest rate environment, are doing just about any and everything to get folks qualified to get the payment that's affordable to them to get into the home. We can also help with that in terms of some of the local programs that we have available through our partnerships with lenders like you, Eric, in terms of down payment assistance, et cetera. So there's a number of things, and we don't have time to get into it right now specifically on this show, but I would definitely encourage you to call your local real estate professional or reach out to us to be able to assist you for those particular opportunities, as well as first-time home buyer seminars, et cetera. Even Freddie Mac, some of the other ones have some credit consultations, and then they'll help you with down payment assistance. We do that here. So we can help you with that as well. It's called Credit Smart with Freddie Mac. So make sure you ask for that, or ask if there are any similar type of programs, because it may help you. It may be the difference between getting the house and not getting the house, just based on a little bit of extra knowledge of a program that is there to help you, but you may not have known about.
Well, you're absolutely right. Down payment assistance can make a difference in people being able to buy now as opposed to later. It takes years to save the money for the down payment. And there are so many programs out there that don't even require a down payment. And I'm not sure if you have USDA territory, and I know you work with
Definitely.
veterans. Those are 100% financing. And folks, in addition to being the host of The Powers Now, I'm also a senior vice president of national sales for Residential Bancorp. And so we'll be partnering up with Heith to ensure that you are exposed to all the opportunities to get the very best financing you can to purchase your first home or move up home. Now, Heith, I'm so glad you mentioned about the millennials because, everybody's been talking bad about them for years, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. It's crazy, but they're here now, and they're the biggest buying segment, especially for new home buyers. And you got to remember, again, this is where the human element comes in and the psychology comes in. They watched what happened in 2007, 8 during that time, right? And so these folks are very savvy, and they want to make a good purchase decision. So they need help, and we want to be in a position to do that. So it's very, very important that you have that kind of understanding or knowledge of the millennials and what their background is, and what they're looking to do in their life as well. They're looking for their new start also.
In terms of starting out, what's available for someone who wants to just get into the game? They may be paying a lot of rent already or maybe not, but what kind of price points are we looking at for, existing, resales or new construction, and or maybe even condominiums and townhomes?
To answer that, we sort of have to talk about what the average rents are here just for a few seconds, and how that can transition into just a really basic math equation or analysis on what they could be looking at based on a mortgage payment versus what they may currently be paying in rent, right? So the average home here, rent-wise, in our local area, you're looking at somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 a month for just your normal residential single-family home. Now, give or take, but how does that translate into what's currently available? What we're seeing right now in terms of a median home price range in our area is roughly about $300,000. Oh, okay. So now obviously we have to then take a look at what the current interest rates would be, and if those could be potentially bought down, or if there are any programs that could help to make the home purchasing process easier and allow for down payment assistance and a similar or better payment than what they could be doing for rent. And the rents here, I'm giving you an average, and again, that can vary. We're seeing a lot of houses that are over $2,000 a month here. And while that may seem like it's affordable, for some folks, it's priced them out. And basically the way that the interest rates go and the way the market is, dictates the rents, as well as obviously the mortgage payments. So we would do a calculation buy versus rent for you to show you, and how there are certain other advantages like tax advantages, et cetera, for buying versus renting. And you're creating equity as well when you're buying, as we know. Now, let's talk about a little bit more in terms of specifically the type of inventory here that we're seeing available. We touched on it earlier, Eric, but we're seeing a big opportunity in new construction. And I just can't restate that enough, that due to there's a lot of factors, right? But the interest rate, the builder, depending on what kind of size they are they a local builder, regional or national builder, they right now are giving huge incentives, whether it be buy downs to the interest rates, closing costs. We're not just talking about upgrades, we're talking about real money to get folks qualified and into homes. So we're seeing more of that type of inventory coming on the market right now and available as to right now, move in right now. So that's a big deal. We are also seeing some of these investors that were holding inventory, right? These big rental companies, American Homes for Rent, hedge funds, Main Street Financial, folks that were doing big rental portfolios in the past. Now they're getting ready to start introducing some of these homes on the market. These are rehabbed homes, Eric. They've had to be certified, they've had to be inspected, et cetera, and meet specific guidelines. So those are some homes that are coming available. In addition to, we have a big amount of condominiums here and townhomes that are affordable, that you can get for under this median home value range of $300,000. between the $200,000 and $300,000 range. You start getting into that range, things are even more affordable, right? So you really need us. You need help, not a computer program or the internet, to be able to not just find you the perfect home, but get that perfect home for you and meet your strategic and your realistic real estate goals. And that's what we do here, from a consultative approach in conjunction with our lender, like yourself, Eric, to help qualify folks to get their perfect property.
Heith, I love what you're saying. You really do need help. You need someone who is in the community, the boots on the ground, the local market expert. And this is why I love doing these interviews with VIP agents like yourself. You know what's going on. You know where the opportunities are. You know the deals. You know what's coming in on the market, not just in new construction, but even resales, right? Of past clients who are thinking about selling. So you know about deals that are not even on the market yet. Would that be correct?
Absolutely, Eric. And that's another key reason, through our marketing programs, our targeted marketing programs that we do through various means and various media, where folks are in a situation. I'll give you a perfect example. So there may be folks that are willing to purchase a new home, but they have a home that they have to sell, right? And so, we can help with that situation. And also in the reverse, folks that are selling, they want to have a home that they purchase first, so they have a place to go. So right. We're solving how do I not get stuck with two mortgages? And how do we solve that problem? So we have innovative programs to be able to help with that. And we also have specific marketing that we do that addresses that, where we can reach folks that may be absentee owners, that may be in a probate situation, that may have divorce situation they need to sell. So a plethora of different opportunities. They may be in an HOA situation. They want to move out from that. They may have to sell for whatever reason. There's a family emergency, etc. We target specific neighborhoods as well that we know have high turnover and that are desirable for relocation. For example, we're called the Space Coast, right? So we have a lot of folks that are in the military that are here on temporary status that may need to sell at some point. So we know those areas and those markets, so we can help with that as well. So those are just some examples and a few specific gems that we can help with and get you the house that you may not think is available currently.
For those of you just joining us, we're talking to Heith Mohler. He's a broker owner of property marketers in Florida, and we're talking about Brevard County and the surrounding areas. And Heith brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to help you achieve your goals, whatever they might be, whether it be to sell or buy, to move up, to rent, to invest. Heith, I'm in California. The Powers Now is the media company's based in California. In California, values here are just out of control. Inventory is still low, and a lot of first-time homebuyers are having to look at alternatives like a manufactured home, or maybe even buying land. Although land is expensive here, but it's not as expensive as just buying something already built, buying and building a home. Can you speak to the opportunities to maybe purchase a manufactured home and also buying land and building new?
Absolutely, Eric. And we do definitely have some rural areas once you get outside of kind of the metropolis here. So USDA loans available for the financing component. But let's talk for a minute about how we could potentially put a deal together for land, vacant land, and kind of what that's looking like. You can get acreage here. You can get all different types of manufactured homes from directly from a dealer, and we have contact with those dealers, and so we can put an actual deal together. And this is really cool, right? So you could purchase the land and then we can actually get you in contact with the folks that manufacture these homes. And believe it or not, the quality, because it's controlled, is so good, it's almost, and or in some cases, I would argue, better than a stick-built or frame or block home, in the sense that everything is controlled and you're getting the product that you want, that you can design up front. So it would kind of go like this, just briefly. You purchase the land, and we're seeing land values that are affordable. So for under $100,000, I'm not going to get into the average price of land, because it just varies all over based on if you're getting acreage, et cetera. But let's just use a realistic number here. Under $100,000, let's say, you could get an acre plus of land realistically here locally still, even in the market that we've been in. If we found you a home, even with the shipping and all the extra additive costs, $80,000 to $100,000 for that mobile home, plus you've got tie-ins and impact fees, et cetera, you can kind of create your own slice of paradise for that 200 to 225, 250 range, and kind of be all in and have your country slice of paradise for under $225,000 to $250,000 again, and then have the financing component to go along with it. We use partners that are experts in these areas, such as yourself, Eric, other local lenders that may be familiar with USDA and some of these rural programs, et cetera. We put a deal together and we put you into a home that's available. There are also plenty of resale manufactured homes that are going on the market. Again, we need to talk about specifics and insurance and how all those things work, because again, we're in Florida, so we have to be real about the possibilities of how manufactured homes are tied down, some of the specific requirements, lending requirements, et cetera. But we can cover all those things for you, the insurance requirements. We put the package together for you here and help you to navigate all of that between ourselves and our team of experts that can get you into that perfect home.
Heith, when you're talking about $200,000, you're talking about a mortgage payment, even with 100% financing through USDA, less than what you would be paying in rent, with acreage that you own, land that you own, and a home that you own. And today, the technology around manufactured housing is incredible. These homes are absolutely beautiful. And I would agree with you that in many cases, especially if the construction wasn't really that good on a stick-built, on-site construction, a manufactured home could be better made. So it's really amazing. It's amazing what's been happening. And we're going to see more and more people look at alternative housing means, from small homes to manufactured homes, to building their own home on land where it is affordable. Heith, this has really been an informative session, and you've just demonstrated why anybody who's looking to buy in Florida, they need to call you. And I'm looking forward to your show where you'll have more time to dig into some of these opportunities. We haven't even talked about commercial real estate. We haven't talked about investing in units like 1 to 4 units and then 5 units or more for those of us who are investing in real estate. There's a lot of opportunity to buy, to sell, and to build wealth in Florida, Brevard County specifically. And you've just been talking about Florida. We haven't talked about Alabama or Ohio or Georgia, where you'll be opening up soon. So, of course, I can't talk to you all day on this show, and I know you've got people to help and things to do. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to ask for your final recommendations to those who are thinking about buying now. What do you recommend that they do? Because there's a lot of concern about, should I buy now with interest rates so high? And, what should I do? What are your recommendations? So, folks, hang in there with us. We're talking to Heith Mohler, broker owner of Property Marketers in Florida. We've been talking specifically about Brevard County, but he covers also Alabama and Ohio and soon to be Georgia. You're listening to The Power Is Now, watching The Power Is Now TV. We'll be right back right after this commercial break.
Want to keep up with the current developments happening in the world of real estate? The Real Estate Roundtable, hosted by Eric L. Frazier, is a show you do not want to miss. The show features a panel of VIP agents who are passionate about helping people. It is what they do best. They discuss today's hot topics, latest market updates and trends. The panel also conducts interviews with prominent figures in the industry. New episode every Friday live on Facebook and replay on the Power Is Now YouTube channel.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, welcome to the Power Is Now Market Update. This has been a great interview with Heith Mohler. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Florida, you have to give him a call. Now, we're in the final segment here of the market update, and Heith has done a great job just telling us about his local area and what's going on, the opportunities there. And so you may be wondering, okay, Heith, great information. I'm feeling maybe a little bit overwhelmed. I need to talk to you, but can you just give me real quickly here, Heith, give me, what are your recommendations for me as a first-time home buyer? And then what would be your recommendation to me as a seller, someone who's thinking about selling right now, given everything that's going on?
Yeah, hi, Eric. Great questions. And so we're just going to talk about a couple of action items that you can take right now, okay, to be able to get yourself prepared to purchase your property and or to sell your property. Okay, so let's talk about on the buying side or the purchasing side, how can you be a good buyer? Okay, what are the things that you can do like right now? The top thing that you can do right now, and the best thing that you can do right now, if you haven't done so already, and I can't stress this enough, and I know you'll agree with me, is to get yourself to a lender and get yourself pre-qualified, because that is the first step, the starting step. And we see this so much with folks that they haven't done that initial work yet. And there are all kinds of things that go along with that, but this way you know what you can afford based on today's market rates. It makes sense, right? We got to have the plan so that we can follow if we're going to build the proverbial house or get the house that we want, right? So that's step one, get pre-qualified. Step two, get with a good agent. If they ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, you should be clapping, and you should, well, I don't want to say give them a hug, but you should be happy, because that means that they are going to be working for you and with you in your best interest as a fiduciary. Okay, just like on a listing side, we would have what's called a listing agreement. We have what's called a buyer's agreement on the buying side. And this is your chance to tell your agent exactly the areas and price points that you're interested in, show them your pre-approval, etc. Okay, that leads us to step three. You want to definitely get out there in the community and definitely get your specific areas that you're interested in and make sure that you arm yourself with all of the resources of that area. We recommend strongly that you contact the local area's Chamber of Commerce. You can do that through your agent. You can drive neighborhoods. You could get onto websites like newhomesource.com for new construction in your area that's not affiliated with any particular real estate agent, etc. Notice I didn't just say Zillow. There, you need to kind of take power and take control yourself and arm yourself with resources, okay? And then number four, the next thing that you need to do is you need to be flexible. You need to understand that you may or may not get everything on your wish list, and you may need to think outside of the box, like we talked about a little bit earlier. You may need to open your search criteria. You may need to look at potentially getting a manufactured home. You may need to get with your agent and work with their marketing programs in terms of writing letters and different things like that, targeted marketing, working with your agent on the programs that best fit what your goals are going to be. Okay, so those are kind of the top things that you can kind of do to get yourself ready in terms of being a great buyer, attending open houses, things of that nature in conjunction with your agent. It should really be a partnership, Eric, in terms of working together to get to your ultimate goal. All right. And that's why the consultative approach is so important, because if we don't communicate and talk and upfront our work, and discuss, hey, do I want this type of property? Do I want something that's ready, finished, and move-in ready, or can maybe I handle some work? And how does the financing happen or work if I'm looking at a property that's maybe, let's say, a foreclosure, et cetera? All of those things make such a big difference, Eric.
Heith, everything you've said is really on point, and you have to prepare yourself as a buyer. You got to know where you want to go. You got to know where you want to live. You got to establish your budget, at what you can afford. And you mentioned the first step is getting pre-approved. And so I want to encourage those who are watching or listening to reach out to me. I'm the National Sales Manager for Residential Bancorp, and we will make sure that you are working with a licensed agent or licensed mortgage consultant and mortgage advisor that's working with Heith in Brevard County and in the state of Florida to ensure that you have all the options that are available to you. I mean, it's so important to know about USDA, FHA, if you're a veteran, VA, or any type of conventional products that might provide some additional affordability, like intermediate arms or permanent buy downs on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, or maybe a short-term loan, like 15 years. And so it takes sitting down, not only with the agent, so he can just plan the work. And I love what you said, Heith, about enter into a buyer's agreement so that they are working for you. But you want to do the same thing with your lender. You want to sit down and really understand, what you qualify for. That's one thing, what's available in terms of options and programs, but also then being really realistic about what you can afford, because they don't necessarily match up. What you qualify for and what you can afford can be two different things. Am I right, Heith?
Absolutely. And you don't want to be in a situation where you're out looking for something and putting in offers. For example, all these things have to happen. Real estate is a process, not an event. And I want you to remember that. If you don't take anything away except for that, what we talked about today, real estate is a process, not an event in terms of purchasing or selling your home. So you want to get with a professional like Eric, somebody that knows the programs, that is highly, highly educated in doing these things every day. It's very, very important.
Heith, you have laid out a great plan for buyers. There may be those in your market that are thinking about selling, not sure on what to do. And they may be further challenged by perhaps the lack of inventory to buy something else when they sell. What would be your recommendations for sellers?
For sellers, just on the flip side, a few good things that you can do for yourself as a seller in any market that you're in, but especially our local market. Step one, you need to make sure your house is ready to sell and is in saleable condition. That's for starters. So I strongly encourage you to have your house pre-inspected. We have partners that do that for you. And that also helps with some of our programs and our marketing that we can do to buyers as well. It gives a big comfort zone to a buyer if they know, oh, hey, look, I've already got an inspection here. The seller's offering me, for an example, a home warranty that they're paying for. Those things are just a big win as a seller, and it's going to position your house as something that is already ready to go for a potential buyer. The other thing that you want to look at is also putting some light staging into your home. We have a comprehensive checklist that we give sellers that show them some really simple repairs, fixes, and we're not talking about major items, but the curb appeal of your home, for an example, removing the clutter, and then having some staging, and or in today's times, Eric, believe it or not, virtual staging is available. Also, in the preparation of your home, having an agent that has partners with floor plans, 360 degree walkthroughs and virtual tours that is going to conduct video, put your home in all these different areas, like what we're doing now with the Power is Now. station, podcasts, things of that nature. You need every advantage humanly possible that you can have in order to position your home as the one in the neighborhood that's going to sell. And here's one of the big takeaways, all right? Price your home correctly. I cannot stress that enough, right, Eric? And I know you're nodding your head and agreeing. You've got to price your home to sell, okay? So it's very important that you work with your agent to price your home. And it's on the flip side, we talked just a minute ago about buyers and having a budget and not overextending yourself and making sure that you're looking in the proper price range. Well, it's the same thing, but in the reverse on the selling side, right? You need to make sure that you're priced competitively for the market. And if your agent hasn't done that for you or hasn't taken the time with you, and you haven't taken the time to go look at some similar houses, because let's face it, let's just pause for a second. We all think our homes are worth millions of dollars and we have the best home. We have this feature, we have that feature, right? Until you get out into the market and you start looking at some of the homes that you're competing against, you know, that have the granite countertops, that have the generator for when the power goes out. What's the value add for something like that? Do you even know what that would be? So all of these things are great things for an example that you can get to know, and that's going to give you confidence, and then also your agent confidence, and then in turn, the buyer confidence. And that's why having a few of these key things done in advance are just going to be a huge thing for you in terms of how your property is going to sell, and it's going to sell for the best price possible. And then the last thing is marketing. You've got to have marketing. You've got to have an agent that does marketing. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about postcards. I'm talking about social media, electronic media, radio, everything and anything. Because remember, it only takes one buyer to get a deal done, and you want to make sure that you have every advantage possible to sell your home and put yourself in the best possible position that you can.
Heith, great job. And, you know, as a VIP agent, not only do you have podcasts and radio, but you have television. This very interview is on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and you have your own show in which you'll talk about listings you have for sale, and you will be advertising in our national magazine, a real estate magazine. Folks, you can check out the real estate magazine at thepowerisnow.com. You can see our HUD Homes magazine, our real estate magazine, our national magazine, which Heith will be writing about his local market area in our national magazine. Matt, this has been such a great discussion and conversation about real estate in Florida. And, you know, as it relates to sellers, obviously being a homeowner myself, I've always recommended to agents that traditionally, you know, you meet with the client who's thinking about selling their home, you sit down and you present your marketing plan, and the first thing the seller wants to talk about is how much you're going to charge. And you're really not even clear on the price, or the seller says, well, we want to sell our house for $1 million or whatever. The reality is that I think that every agent, before they sit down with the buyer to talk about price, if they should, not the buyer, but the seller, they should meet with the seller in the field. You know, the seller is interested in you listing their home for sale. Say, great, fantastic. Why don't we meet at Starbucks and let me show you what's available in your market area before we sit down and talk about price. And as an opportunity for the agent to get to know the seller, what their needs are, build some rapport, establish a relationship, and also for the seller to see firsthand what homes are selling for in their market area. Because I have found in my experience that sellers are unrealistic, not because they're unrealistic people, but they're unrealistic because they don't really know the quality of homes that are being sold, or the state of homes that are being sold in their market area, and the price points, what they're asking for. And that they may be asking for way more than what the market is going to provide. And for that reason, their home will not sell, because you don't sell above the market unless there is a crazy very, very tight inventory. Am I right about that? Inventory has to be super tight in order for a person to get way above market value for their home, and that's due to demand.
Absolutely, Eric. I mean, I think those are great points. And again, it just shows that the consultative approach and the targeted marketing that you're going to do, it takes some time to be able to show that to folks. And once they see, oh my gosh, this is what we're up against competition wise, because they've taken, it doesn't have to be long. It can even be, online. It can be virtual. It can be in person. Like you said, you get to know them, you get to meet them, and you want to do a good job for them. The agent wants to do a good job. And let's be real, Eric, most people are good people, but like you said, they just have unrealistic expectations. And that's just typically a lot of times through lack of knowledge and education. And so that's what we're here to do is educate folks. That's what you're here to do. And you do every day, by the way. And once you are educated, and that's really what your show's about, right? You feel empowered, or having the power. The power is now. So
that's right.
When everybody is transparent, you got full disclosure, we're consenting adults, right? And then you can make an informed decision. It's in the opposite when, you're just, you get something dropped in your lap or whatever. And that's why I say real estate is a process. The transaction, purchasing or selling, is a process, not an event. So the more you can remember that, the better. And that's why you need, a professional to help you. It's just like in any other industry. I mean, you're not going to go have a legal document drawn up that you're going to be depending on, from just some online program. You're going to go to the professional that's going to help guide you and explain to you, hey, this is what this means, and is going to have a team that's going to help you. You are, and you mentioned money before compensation on the selling side. Value, right, is only a thing if you're not providing it, or in the absence of knowledge and education. So if there's no value there, you're not showing value, then why would anybody pay anything for anything? And there's value, and there's a certain segment of people that want to do things a certain way, and then there's others that are going to pay for quality and for excellence. And so that's what you're looking at, and that's kind of how you have to think in terms of value and pricing and things of that nature. So
Heith, man, I really appreciate your time today. This has been so informative, and I want to encourage those who are watching or listening to this podcast, if you're thinking about buying or selling, you need a trusted advisor who has experience, both just in the business, not just in the business, but actual transactional experience. They've sold a lot of homes. They helped a lot of people. They're very knowledgeable about what's going on in their market area. They are a local market expert, and that's what Heith Mohler is. Heith, as we sign off on this interview today, if you could, for one final time, especially for those who are listening to the podcast, provide your contact information for them to reach out to you directly if they have any questions about everything we've talked about today.
Yeah, absolutely, Eric. And again, it was a pleasure being here with you today. Thanks for having me on. Folks, you can reach out to me at anytime. We got multiple ways to reach out, but the best way is just simply give us a call, 321-607-6836. Believe it or not, you can also text that number. If you want to get me directly, when you call at the 321-607-6836, simply just dial my extension 101, and that'll put you in touch with me. If I don't answer, it means I'm usually helping clients, or I'm out helping folks with their business or agents or any number of things. Leave a message. I'll get back to you. I pride myself on getting back to people very, very quickly. You can also reach me electronically. You can reach me via our website, which is propertymarketersllc.com. That's property marketers with an S, plural, LLC.com. And then you can just also email me, which is just my first initial H, like happy, Mohler, Mohler, at propertymarketers with an S, LLC.com. And we're happy to help.
Thank you, Heith. Well, that's a wrap, folks, of another Power Is Now market update. You can watch other market updates on our website at thepowerisnow.com. Please download the Power Is Now TV app, Power Is Now TV, on any Android or Apple device, and just learn more. We are all about providing information, tools, and resources to help you build wealth in real estate. The power is now to buy, to sell, to build wealth in real estate. And we are at our best, and we maximize our success when we act now. Thank you, Heith, for joining us. Thank you all for watching us. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, continue to connect with us, because the power is now. And we are always willing and able to help you achieve your goals in real estate wherever it might be. Thank you for watching.
The Power Is Now Media is worldwide with growing audience of future homebuyers, investors, builders, developers, real estate agents, and brokers. The Power Is Now Media is well positioned to increase awareness and produce results for our growing roster of advertising partners. An advertisement on any of our platforms is the right step toward reaching and communicating key brand messages to a targeted network of individuals, families, and communities interested in housing. Our content areas include feature stories and profiles on successful real estate agents, business owners, government, and community leaders. The Power Is Now magazines are the leading resource for real estate agents, mortgage bankers, entrepreneurs, and small home ownership businesses, providing leaders with business strategy information, resources, and tools through PIN, real estate, and programming guide magazines. Stay up to the minute with real estate and mortgage news and information from industry experts. VIP agents are able to feature listings each week. The Power Is Now TV radio podcast features weekly shows that include Homebuyers Town Hall, Real Estate Roundtable, VIP Agent Spotlight, and so much more. Each week, VIP agents have opportunities to be featured guests on the shows. VIP agents can discuss and showcase houses, neighborhoods, and provide brief introduction. The interviews are unlimited 10 to 15 minutes on each current listing. This product alone separates you from your competition. The Power Is Now delivers to you market update interview to promote listing weekly, promotional biographical video, co-host a bi-monthly Homebuyers Town Hall show, featured subject matter expert on Real Estate Roundtable show, The Power Is Now Program Guide e-magazine, The Power Is Now National e-magazine, article writing and blogging, social media content customization, inclusion and press releases, graphic design services, business and performance coaching, technology support, referrals, lead generation opportunities, and management support.